Boundary Setting Masterclass, where we're going to talk about 5 common mistakes survivors make when setting boundaries with a narcissist and how to avoid them. I'm so sorry we couldn't do this on Zoom, but it's all right here too. We can actually have a nice conversation. And by the way, I'm streaming live from Lagos, Nigeria. Do let me know where you're also watching us from by typing in the chat box. Where are you joining us from? And also do say hi. Don't be a stranger. Like I always tell you guys, this is a strong and supportive community, and we hold hands virtually in our fight against narcissistic abuse. And so don't hesitate to say hi in the chat box, because community is big for us. Community is at the heart of what we do, because I have seen the power of community in dealing with narcissistic abuse, and I tell you, it's gonna help you too. Thank you so much for joining wherever you're joining us from. And so let me start by saying, if you are frustrated setting boundaries with a narcissist, I can so relate. Been there, done that. And I can tell you there is a better way to do it. And there are mistakes to avoid. And that is what this live stream is all about. We're going to talk about 5 common mistakes to avoid when setting boundaries with a narcissist and what to do instead. And so basically, let me start by asking, what is a boundary? What is a boundary? Basically, a boundary is a line that separates you from another person. A boundary is a line that says, this is my own side of life, and that these are the things I can tolerate. These are the things I cannot tolerate. And by the way, there are divine boundaries. Even God set boundaries with the children of Israel, and we call it the 10 Commandments. I call them divine boundaries, because basically God was like, this is how far you can go. This is what you cannot do. This is what you should do. If you do this, this is going to be the consequence. And basically that tells us that boundaries need to have consequences. And so if you're setting a boundary, it must carry a consequence. For instance, if you're telling somebody, if you yell at me, I will hang up the phone. If you yell at me, I will hang up the phone. That is an example of a boundary. And basically, it has a consequence. It has a consequence. And so that is how God also set boundaries. And basically, Jesus also set boundaries. When he was alive, the Bible told us severally how Jesus would leave the people and go rest, because he needed time away from people. He needed to recuperate his strength. He needed to connect back to his control tower, which is God. And so basically, boundaries are essential. Just imagine it, if you have a house and your neighbor is also in his own house, and then your neighbor comes to your house to tell you, okay, paint your house green, paint your house red. You can say that your neighbor is overstepping his or her boundary, because that is not his or her house. That is your house, and you determine your house. And so basically, boundaries are meant to protect our peace. Boundaries are meant to enable us to live in safety. And so boundaries are for you most of the time. And if you are with a narcissist, you just need boundaries to survive the chaos. You just need boundaries to survive the drama. You just need boundaries to survive the hell that narcissists put us through. And so these are some examples of boundaries that I can think of off my head. Thank you for joining. I can see you in the live audience. It means a lot that you took out the time to join this live stream. Thank you so much. I thoroughly appreciate you. And I would like to say that we should make this class an interactive one. I would like you to say hi in the chat box and let's know where you're watching us from. And if you've got questions on boundary setting, go ahead and type them in the chat box. And so, like I was saying, hi, you're welcome. That is Ogu Lucy. Ochidima Obeliagu, thank you for joining. Ogu Lucy says hi. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for the time you took out of your busy schedules to join this live stream. And so basically, I was trying to explain boundaries because I don't want to do much of my notes today. I want it to be an interactive session. Hello, Hannah, you're warmly welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Like I was saying, I have my notes, but I don't want to do too much of notes today. I want us to have an interactive class on boundary setting because look, boundary setting is hard when you are with a narcissist. Been there, done that. And I can know that some of you are going through hell as we speak because your boundaries are being trampled upon. Your boundaries are not being respected. The narcissist is just doing what he or she wants to do. But I tell you, there is hope for you, just as I have found hope in God. And also there are some practical things you can do that I'm basically going to talk about. And so these are some examples of boundaries. And before I talk about some examples of boundaries, let me tell you how I started to learn about boundaries. And so Yabayale was the kind of person that would open a house to anybody that came in, that will stop doing what she's supposed to do because somebody came to visit. And then my life was basically structureless, boundaryless. And that meant I always felt drained because I was giving too much than I was getting. So my life was boundaryless. And I was in a mission house set up where, you know, people will come visit. Oh, we came to visit our pastor. We came to do this. We came to do that. And it was draining because sometimes I would have set a schedule for the day and I'll just see people come in, and as the mother of the house, I've got to attend to them. And then I always felt drained. I always felt like I was abandoning myself. I always felt like I wasn't putting myself as top priority. Thank you for joining us. I can see you in the live audience. Do say hi in the chat box and let's have a robust conversation. Like I earlier said, I want this class to be an interactive one. Talk to me. Let me talk to you. Ask questions about boundary setting and let's get help together. And so I didn't know about boundaries because of the way I was always burnt out. I felt resentment because I was like, why is this happening? Until I learned that I was the one in control of my time, in control of my life, and I was the one allowing those things. I was the one enabling those things. And I landed on the work of Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. They are two doctors, and I think they are also psychiatrists or psychologists, and they wrote a book on boundaries. That is actually how I started to learn about boundaries, that boundaries protect our peace. Boundaries protect our safety. They protect us basically. And so I started learning more about boundaries, and I got to know that I need to set boundaries if I wanted to be in control of my time, if I wanted to be in control of my life, if I wanted to be in control of my energy. I needed to set boundaries on how people assessed me, how people assessed my space, that I needed a law. I call a boundary a law, basically. And so these are some examples of boundaries. And I've talked about the fact that Jesus had boundaries and God also had boundaries. And God's boundaries are the 10 commandments. Basically, he was telling the children of Israel, you cannot go beyond this line. You cannot go beyond that line. You cannot do this. If you do this, this is the consequence. And so basically, a boundary is a limit that you set for your life with a consequence. And so you are discussing with somebody and the person is yelling at you. A boundary will be, if you keep yelling at me, I will hang up this phone. That is a boundary. Or somebody is always late for appointments. You set an appointment and the person comes 1 hour late, twice a month, does that all the time, and you're sick and tired because it is encroaching into your personal space, your personal time. And so the next time the person comes late, you tell him, the next time we have an appointment, if you come late, I will walk away before you get here. But one thing about boundaries is you got to enforce the consequence. If you don't enforce the consequence, your boundary becomes just a plea. PLEA. So you got to enforce the consequence of the boundary. Otherwise, if a narcissist knows that you would not follow through with the consequence, they will just be trampling upon your boundaries. They will just be disrespecting your boundaries, disrespecting your space. And so these are examples of boundaries. Do let me know if you're following. Just say follow F. Just say F in the chat. Just say F in the chat. I want to know if you are truly following. I want us to connect. Basically, I want a connection in this live stream. I don't just want to have a live stream. I want to know that I am connecting with you and you are connecting with me. And so just say F. F means following. F means following. Just say F in the chat box. I would love to hear F, just F in the chat box. F, and I'll read your comments. Thank you, Chidima Obeliago. F, you're following. Yes. And so, thank you, Anna. Thank you so much. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for making this class interactive. Okay. And so following. Thank you so much. And so Jesus said boundaries, and I've posted about this on my YouTube channel, the community page, and God also set boundaries. And so who are you not to set boundaries? Even in healthy relationships, you need boundaries, not to talk of a relationship with a narcissist who sees boundaries as an affront, a narcissist who sees boundaries as competing with him. And so for you to have peace, I tell you, you got to set boundaries. And so I've given you some examples of boundaries. So what are the mistakes to avoid when setting boundaries with a narcissist? The first mistake to avoid is not being clear about your boundaries and not communicating clearly. That's the first mistake to avoid. Now, if you are communicating with a narcissist, you got to be clear about your boundary, because a narcissist will want to twist your words. A narcissist will want to say what you didn't say. A narcissist will want to argue with you, will want to manipulate with you. And so you got to communicate clearly your boundaries. That's the first mistake that I see most people make. Not communicating your boundaries clearly. You gotta communicate. Most of us were not trained well when it comes to communication. I won't lie about that. I also had issues with communication. I won't lie about that. And if you also have issues with communication, let me know in the chat box, because I found it hard to say my mind, because as a child, I was shut down. Because as a child, I wasn't allowed to express myself. And so I grew up as an adult and I couldn't communicate clearly. You got to have assertive communication skills if you're dealing with a narcissist and you are not yet able to leave. So you got to clearly set your boundaries and communicate them to the narcissist. And so maybe you are arguing and the narcissist keeps shutting you down. And so you start a boundary by saying, the next time you shut me down in an argument, I'm gonna leave this room. And so you state it clearly. This is what you're doing that I don't like. And if you do it again, I'm gonna do this. Once you say that, it takes us to the second mistake that most people make when setting boundaries with a narcissist, and that is inconsistent enforcement. Once you say that, you got to enforce that punishment, because the narcissist will not respect your boundary. Take it or leave it. The narcissist will not respect your boundary. For instance, you say, okay, I have left the narcissist, like I have left, and I'm in a new place of my own. The narcissist is in our former place. And I say, don't come to my house. If you want to see your baby, I know how to get her across to you. Something like that. The narcissist will, if he knows your place, he will want to come there. And so you got to set clear boundaries and also enforce the consequences. And so if I say, don't come to my house, and it comes, I already set a boundary. That means you will not see your child for that month or something. And so enforce the consequence. If you say, I'm going to leave this room, if you start shutting me down, go ahead and leave the room when he does, because he will do it. I tell you, narcissists do not respect boundaries. Thank you, those of us who just joined. Say hi in the chat box and let's have a warm conversation. Okay. And so a narcissist will trample upon your boundary, no matter how highly placed you put a boundary. The narcissist will trample upon it. And so that is the second mistake that I see people make. And so the first mistake is not clearly communicating your boundaries. And second mistake is not enforcing the consequences consistently. Inconsistent enforcement will cause the narcissist to believe that the other time she didn't enforce it. Let me trample upon her boundary again. She will not, sorry. Let me trample upon her boundary again. She will still not enforce it because you have set the precedence. But each time it goes against your boundary, if you enforce the consequence, he or she will sit up. Let's talk about he, because this platform is more about women who have survived narcissistic abuse. And so he will sit up if you keep enforcing the consequence. If you keep enforcing the consequence, he will sit up because he knows then you are no longer joking. You are no longer joking. And that takes me to the third mistake we make when it comes to setting boundaries with a narcissist. That takes me to the next mistake. If you've got questions, please let me know. If you've got questions, just excuse me, I want to pick something. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so if you've got questions, do let me know in the chat box. If you've got questions, do let me know in the chat box. Any questions so far? Let's have an interactive session. I want us to have a Q&A session too today. And so let's have an interactive question. Okay. And so I'm still talking about the mistakes we make. And that takes me to the next mistake, which is expecting the narcissist to respect your boundaries or change as a result. Look, if you set boundaries, you set them for yourself, not for the narcissist. If you set boundaries, they are basically for you, because the narcissist will never respect your boundaries. And so don't make the mistake of expecting that the narcissist will respect your boundaries. Don't even make that mistake at all, because a narcissist exists to violate your boundaries. A narcissist exists to argue about your boundaries. A narcissist exists to manipulate you about your boundaries. And so that is a third mistake, because when you expect the narcissist to respect your boundary and they do not, it causes certain emotional upheavals for you. And I can get it because I was there. And so just give yourself peace. Know that this boundary I'm setting is basically for me to have peace. It's basically for me to be protected. It's not because I want the narcissist to change, because your boundaries will not change a narcissist. Only God can change a narcissist. If he threatens to beat you up, what will you say to him? Chidima Obeliago asks a vital question. Now, if he threatens to beat you up, you tell him, I will call the cops on you. I will call the cops on you. That is one way to handle that. I will call the cops on you. And because he doesn't want to deal with the cops, he will, and by cops, I mean the police. We all know what I mean by cops. And so that is one way to deal with that. I hope that helps you, because I know what you're talking about when it comes to the cops, and that is part of the reason why I never involved the cops, but I eventually had to involve them in my own matter. The police, they intervened in my own matter. And I tell you, the police now have a unit in Nigeria here. I don't know about any other place. They have a unit called Family Support Unit, FSU. It is usually headed by a female, and they deal with these family issues. And so don't even argue with him. Just tell him you will call the cops. Okay, Chidima Belago says he's a lawyer. He's threatening to deal with me in court. Let him go to court. You will meet him there. Your children are still young. You will be given the custody. I tell you, your children are still young. You will get custody. Let him go to court and deal with you there. He cannot deal with the judges. Judges also know some of these things. And also pray, my sister. Also pray. I tell you, prayer has been vital in my own journey. When I wanted to leave the narcissist, I had 4 kids who were grown and a toddler, all for the same man. And my fear was that I was going to lose those children, because I wasn't going to take any child. In fact, I left without taking any child. That's the honest truth. Not even the toddler. I left her because I told you guys I had nothing in my account. Nothing. I didn't have a house. And so I was going to manage somewhere with a family. And I couldn't be taking, your children are less than 6 years. Great. I couldn't be taking my children as a burden to somebody's house. I have 4 children too. Awesome. And I couldn't be taking my children to a family house. And so I left all of them. And so my fear was that I was going to lose those children. I didn't even ask those ones that are grown up. I didn't ask them to come to me. They came to me of their own will. They came to me of their own volition. And that is why I tell you, there is nothing prayer cannot do. Let him go to court. We have the judge of the universe as our father. He will plead your cause. He is the advocate of the masses. He will be your advocate in court. I tell you, let him go to court. And so don't fear. I tell you, fear is a weapon that the narcissist will use again and again and again. And in my case, I feared. I was so afraid. I won't lie to you guys. I wasn't like this before, because fear was the order of the day for me. But now I'm bold because I've left the narcissist and I've grown. I have built myself up. It is a weapon. It is a tool. Fear. It is a tool. And the Bible says God has not given us a spirit of fear, but of love, power, and of a sound mind. My sister, you've got power. My sister, you've got a sound mind. My sister, you have love. Go ahead and tell God, plead my case. Like when we were going to the police, in my own case, early in the morning, I would wake up and pray and commit all of them. Eventually, they judged the case in my favor. Even though we didn't go to court, they still judged the case in my favor, and I was actually compensated in certain ways. And so I tell you, pray, my sister. Let him use whatever he has at his disposal. God has everything at his disposal, and he will see you through this battle of your life. Look, I can tell you with my full chest that this God, he still works, because I've seen him at play in my life in ways that I never ever expected. I tell you, when I left, I was so fearful. I couldn't even take my baby. I left her there. It was eventual, I think 2 months or 3 months after, that I fought to have her, and I eventually had her. But the elderly ones, they came to me of their own volition. I didn't even have to tell them, look, I am leaving, follow me. Look, I am leaving. No, they saw everything. They saw everything. And so they knew who they wanted to go with. They knew who they wanted to follow. And so I tell you this with sincerity of heart, that this matter will be judged in your favor. And don't forget, Chidima, that you've got options. One thing I always told myself when I was in narcissistic abuse was that I can never be hemmed in. Can you guys hear me? Can you say, I can never be hemmed in? Because the narcissist wants you to feel you are hemmed in, that there is no hope for you, that there is no way out for you. And so I constantly validated myself with that affirmation. I can never be hemmed in. There is always a way out for me. God has made a way for me, and I'm getting out of this situation. I constantly affirmed it. And I want you to also affirm it. You can never be hemmed in. You have options. It is your life. It is your life. And you got a choice as regards how to live it. If the way you are living it presently doesn't please God and doesn't please you too, you can take steps to make it better. And God is backing you, especially when you are in a narcissistic abuse setup. I can never be hemmed in. Thank you, Anna. I love that. I love the energy in the house. I can never be hemmed in. You can never be hemmed in. Yes, Chidima, you can never be hemmed in. And I'm not saying this because you guys are, this is things that I tried personally. I didn't know where money was going to come from, but I knew this God. I knew this God couldn't fail me. I knew he couldn't fail me. Things were rough. I won't sit here and tell you things were 100% all right. No, things were practically rough. But this girl here just said, I will fight it out. I don't care what it takes. I don't care what it takes. I will fight it out. And God saw me through. Today, I can look back. Look at what I posted on my birthday. I didn't have anything. It was just God's promises. But today I look back and I'm super grateful that I obeyed God to leave, because God actually told me to leave. And if you have God's leading to leave, I tell you, leave. There is nothing that is coming that you cannot overcome. There's somewhere in the Bible where it says that he will not give us temptations that are beyond our shoulders to bear. You can do it. I tell you this from the bottom of my heart. You can do it. And life is sweeter on the other side. I cannot begin to tell, because I'm not the kind of person that will be flamboyant and be posting everything online. I'm not a Gen Z. I'm a Gen X. But life is sweeter now. I won't lie. Life is sweeter. Sweeter. And so just know that this is what I want to do, and go for it. No matter how much he threatens, no matter how much he wants to make you fear, just know I've got a Father. I have a very big God, though. He's always by my side. A very big God, though. By my side, by my side. God is always on the side of women who are being victimized by narcissists. God is always on your side. Never ever think you are alone. Never ever. Never ever think you are alone. And so God is there for you. Even if the world doesn't understand today, they will understand much later. They will understand much later. They will understand. Okay, and so let's move on. And so I talked about the first one being not communicating your boundaries clearly. The second one is inconsistent enforcement of your consequences. And the third one is expecting the narcissist to respect your boundaries or change as a result of your boundaries. The narcissist won't change because of that. He will only change if God meets him. That is it. Now, the third mistake that we make is showing the narcissist your reaction to the boundary violation. For instance, you made a boundary and the narcissist violated it. You then start showing you are frustrated, because you will be frustrated by the narcissist. Take it or leave it. You will be frustrated by the narcissist when you start setting boundaries. And so don't show any reaction. Don't show whether you are frustrated or something. Just be neutral. And so basically, I'll say observe instead of absorb. Observe, OBSERVE, instead of absorb. Don't absorb anything the narcissist does. Stay detached. It's a big skill. Detachment is a big life skill. And I every day I'm getting better at it. That I still have communication with the narcissist because of my toddler. And so I manage to stay detached all through communications. And I'm still on my own. And he's still on his own. So you have to be emotionally detached, even when the narcissist is pushing your buttons, pressing your buttons, because he knows what makes you angry. He has lived with you for years, and so he knows what will make you go bananas. And so we'll be pressing those buttons. But remain emotionally detached. In fact, it's something that I asked God to help me to do, because I knew we had a toddler that we share, and the toddler would have to talk to him somehow. I needed to find a way to co-parent. And so you also have to remain emotionally detached, because even Chidima, you are going to co-parent. He is a lawyer. He knows his rights. And so I'm coming up with a video shortly, because lately I have told myself I'm not connecting enough with you guys. I need to share more of my experiences. There are certain things that most channels don't talk about when it comes to narcissistic abuse, especially life after narcissistic abuse, because there is a life after narcissistic abuse, and we don't often get to talk about those things. I want to talk more based on my experience. That's why I told you at the earlier stage of this live stream that I want to do less of my notes and more of heart-to-heart talk, because I believe that way I can connect better with you guys. And so don't show any reaction. That way you are able to think through and respond with love. Because when you show you are frustrated, you have given him another pass at making you more frustrated, because then he'll say, it's working, I'll continue doing it. It's working, I'll continue doing it. But if you show detachment, he will say, hey, it's strange, she's not acting normal. She's not acting the way she used to act. On the norms, if I did this, she would have gone bananas and started shouting, started raging and ranting. But today, she's just cool. She's just calm. She's just collected. That is it. Don't make that mistake of falling into the hands of a narcissist by showing your reaction to their boundary violation. Remain cool, remain calm, remain collected. Now, the next mistake we make is explaining your boundaries or defending them. For God's sake, this is your life. The fact that you are married to somebody doesn't mean the person owns you. God owns you ultimately. God owns you ultimately. And you own yourself too, because you can set boundaries that please God and please you. And so stop explaining your boundaries. It is a sign of people pleasing. It is a sign of second guessing yourself. And that is what narcissists love. They want you to second guess yourself. They want you to second guess yourself. Narcissists want you to second guess. They want you to doubt your boundaries. And so they say, you mean you want this? Yes. Stand on your ground. Yes, this is what I want. And if you don't do it this way, this is what I will do. Stop explaining. Make your boundaries clear and forget about it. Don't argue about your boundaries. Don't defend yourself. You defend yourself to God. Don't defend yourself to the narcissist. The narcissist, you owe the narcissist no explanation for your boundaries. It is your life. At the end of the day, I always tell young girls when I counsel them about marriage and choosing a marriage partner, that when it comes to choosing a marriage partner, each man for himself, all of us for God. Your husband doesn't own you. You don't own your husband. You both belong to God. But when you come into a marital setting, you try to come together for the peace of the home. And so he doesn't own you. This one that some men will be demanding sex as if it was a debt. Go ahead and like this live stream. Don't forget to like it. Don't forget to share it. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. And if you are a constant viewer, I want to salute you. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. This channel exists because of you guys. The fact that you come back, the fact that you interact, the fact that you share my videos. Thank you, because I couldn't do it alone. But you have made this a community that is worthy of emulation. And I want to thank you so much. Thank you, guys. Okay, so stop explaining your boundaries. Stop defending your boundaries. Yet another mistake that I see people make is not having support when setting boundaries. Look, having support is key, because the narcissist will run you aground. The narcissist will run you aground. That is their stock in trade. That is what they are born to do. And so you need the support of a safe community that will hold your hands and say, don't you worry. Chidima, go. You can do it. And when things don't turn out the way you want, you can come back and cry to them. You can come back and cry to them and share, and they will tell you this is what you can do. I'm looking forward to having that kind of community soon, whereby women will gather together and we will hold hands. We will hold hands, not just on YouTube, but on another platform. I look forward to having that soon. Okay, so you need support. 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 I tell you, this battle is not a battle you can fight alone. Been there, done that, and I know that I wouldn't be here without the help of community. I won't lie. Imagine living without a dime. It was community all the way, all the way, all the way. Those that will give me money, those that will give me advice, those that will stand by me and say, this thing you want to do, we are doing it together. We are wearing the same trousers. We will do it together. They will say, you can do it. And so that kind of support is invaluable. I won't lie about that. It's invaluable. It's something that you cannot put a price on. And I look forward to having that very soon. It's going to be a paid community because my time is valuable. But I tell you, thank you, Chidima. Thank you. So sorry, ma. Thank you. But I tell you that it's going to be worth it if you're a part of that community. Okay. Now, instead of these mistakes, what should you focus on? Instead of these mistakes, what should you focus on? Focus on clear and concise communication. State your boundaries clearly and simply without explanation. That I've said it enough. State your boundaries clearly. Don't engage with the shenanigans of the narcissist, because the narcissist will run you riot. He will say, you mean I cannot do this? You mean I cannot do that? You mean, you know, those kind of things. Just state your boundaries clearly and leave it at that. No explanation. You don't have to explain yourself to anybody. You don't owe anybody an explanation for how you've decided to do your life. It's your life at the end of the day. And God is the superintendent over your life. So instead of these mistakes, focus on clear and concise communication. Also focus on consistent enforcement. Execution is key when it comes to boundaries. So you got to focus on consistently enforcing. If you say, I will leave this conversation, leave. If he does that thing you don't want him to do, leave. There's nothing that will happen, I tell you. Don't allow the narcissist to allow fear to hold you hostage. The Bible says we don't have the spirit of fear. Perfect love casteth out fear. If you love God perfectly, fear will flee. If you love God perfectly, fear will flee. Perfect love casteth out fear. We don't have the spirit of fear. We have the spirit of power. We have the spirit of love. We have the spirit of a sound mind. These are Bible verses that I chew. I was chewing them when I was in narcissistic abuse. I don't have the spirit of fear. When it starts to threaten like this, I don't have the spirit of fear. I have the spirit of power. And it is the spirit of the Holy Spirit. It is the spirit of God. It is the Holy Spirit. And so, another thing is disengagement. If a conversation becomes toxic, disengage and walk away. Because, you know, when you start dealing with a narcissist, you will get to a time that toxicity will be up here. In those instances, disengage and walk away. Protect your peace. There is no price to your peace, I tell you. I didn't know that peace was worth a diamond until I started experiencing peace. Gone are the days when my heart will be racing. Hey! As if my heart wants to fall down. Palpitations. I will not be able to sleep. These days, I'm able to sleep even more than the required self. Because my mind is at peace. Peace is priceless. Peace is, you cannot value it. You cannot value it. And so when the shenanigans come in after you have set your boundaries or trying to enforce it, for instance, you decided to shut the call down after he did what you didn't want him to do. And he starts saying, how dare you? Of course, he will challenge you. How dare you shut down the call on me? How dare you? How dare you? It has become toxic. Disengage, walk away. Disengage, walk away. Disengage, walk away. Yes, disengage and walk away. Peace is paramount. Yes, Queen Blessed, thank you for joining. Peace is paramount. Peace is priceless. I didn't know there was so much peace out there until I left. I didn't know. Even when I was struggling with my finances, the peace I had was enough. I won't lie. It was enough for me because I couldn't fathom being in a house where there was plenty and I didn't have peace. Peace is priceless. It's very powerful. Can't put a price on peace. Yes, River City Grower. Yes, thank you for joining. You cannot put a price on your peace, I tell you. And that is why I always tell women who I talk to, stop being timid. Jean Moore. Yes, sis. Stop being timid. You are not created to be timid. God created you to be powerful. God created you to be powerful. You got the power to do stuff. But when it comes to narcissistic abuse, God is there for you. But there are certain things you got to do for yourself. Because God will not do what you can do. He will only do what you cannot do. And so part of the things God will not do for you is bringing you out by himself. You have to take your load and leave. You have to take your stuff and leave. Jim, thank you. Amen. You said amen. You have to take your stuff and leave. You got to say, okay, how do I bring in money? What are the things I can do? These are all things that you can do for yourself. God will not do. Because, of course, God will bless your efforts. Thank you, Chidima Beliago. I choose my peace of mind over bondage. Yes. You will never imagine the peace that exists on the other side until you have crossed. I didn't know. Hey, I can't even begin to tell you some of this. There was one night that, oh my goodness, I couldn't sleep, not a drop of sleep, because the narcissist had washed me down before my children and before one guy who lived with us at that time. He accused me of something I wasn't doing. He didn't even allow me to explain. And I got into bed and I couldn't sleep all through the night. I tell you, it was hectic. It was hectic. Nowadays, sometimes I don't even know when I sleep off, because the peace is there. The peace is there. Choose your peace of mind over bondage. Stop following our parents who say, because of the children, because of the children. Look, most of our parents didn't also have it easy in marriage. Let me tell you the truth. Most of our parents didn't also have it easy in marriage. The only reason they stayed was because of the kids. The only reason they stayed was because of the kids. And that is also causing another problem. Let me tell you the problem it is causing. Nowadays, you will find mothers, old mothers, they go for mugwa. They don't want to come back to their husbands' houses. They don't want to come back because they know that the children's place is better. They just manage to patch it up. And it's causing another problem in the sense that the wives of their sons are having issues because the sons are closer to their mothers sometimes than their wives. So these are all things that are happening. I tell you, these are all things that are happening. But we are in the new generation, and God is raising new people who love him. And you are one of them. And so don't waste your time with a narcissist. Of course, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that life on the other side is rosy. Like I told you, I'm going to make a video on some things that I faced after I have left and how I am coping with them. Because I want us to connect. I want you guys to know what it is like to live a narcissist and how I'm coping with this new life that I'm living. Okay, Queen Blessed says, my sister, I left and came back, but my next leaving will be soon. I'll never turn back. Oh, no, yes, we are not turning back. No, yes, we are not turning back. We are going for good. I tell you, that will be your story in the mighty name of Jesus. Thank you so much, Queen Blessed, for that comment. And so another thing to do is self-care. Instead of those mistakes, prioritize yourself. Prioritize your well-being. You're important to God. You know, when you say, I'm there because of the kids, I'm there because of the kids, you are not prioritizing yourself. You matter. It took me a time to know this because I always was like giving, and not getting anything in return. And so I got burnt out. You don't want to be burnt out, I tell you. I got burnt out. I suffered a burnout, and I was tired of everybody, tired of everything that used to bring me joy because I was not prioritizing myself. And so you got to prioritize it because the narcissist is going to do so many things that will infuriate you, that will frustrate you. But when you take care of yourself, it will cover up anything that a narcissist is doing. It will cover up anything the narcissist is doing. And so take care of yourself. Drink healthy, eat healthy, exercise, listen to music if that's what you love, draw if you love drawing, dance if you enjoy dancing, sing if you enjoy singing, do everything that gives you joy. I tell you, prioritize you because you matter. I'm talking to women here. And I want you guys to know that you matter. You matter beyond your husband. You matter beyond your children. You matter beyond your business. You matter. You matter. You are important to God. And that is why you've got to prioritize yourself. You've got to prioritize your well-being. Don't joke with your well-being. You will notice on this channel, sometimes I will stop posting because I'm prioritizing me. It is because I am okay that this channel exists. God forbid bad thing. If anything happens, this channel will no longer exist. And so I got to prioritize me. I have had people who say, sis, let's connect on WhatsApp. And I tell them, I'm not a WhatsApp person. And I'm not gonna bend because of that. I don't want too much demands on my time. I want to structure it in such a way that at least I will prioritize me too. I'm important. This channel is important, but I am also important. And so you got to come to that realization that I matter. My children matter, but I matter too. My business matters. I matter too. Prioritize your well-being, because when you take care of yourself, there is a certain vibe that I cannot even begin to explain it. I cannot begin to explain it. So just know that you are important and you matter. Also, focus on your actions. Don't try to control the actions of the narcissist, because you cannot. Focus on your own actions and your responses, because I tell you, that is the only thing you can control in this equation. You cannot control the narcissist. You cannot control his reactions. You cannot control anything. The only thing you can control is your own reactions. And so please note that. Do we have any questions? I would like this going forward to be a Q&A session. Let's ask questions. Let's ask questions on, it can be on boundary setting or any other thing. I don't mind. Let's ask questions that will draw out answers that are in me based on my experience. Okay. And so ask questions, and if you've got an observation, you can go ahead and make that observation. And if you've got something bothering your mind, this is a space to rant. This is a no judgment zone. And this is a hub for validation. So go ahead and type in the chat box before we close out, because we've been here for more than 50 minutes. We've been here for more than 50 minutes. Thank you for honoring me this birthday masterclass. It's such a privilege to serve. It's such a privilege to serve. You know, when God told me, Yabo, I would love you to use your story to inspire other women, I struggled. I won't lie. I struggled, because I'm the type of person that, I've seen a question, I'm coming. I'm a type of person that I love to live my quiet life. I don't want people to know what I'm up to. For a long time, I didn't talk about what I was experiencing until much later, after I had battled it out with God. But you know, when I see the kind of impact that this ministry is having, I'm always happy. People reach out via emails, people reach out via Instagram, people reach out on the channel itself through comments, and I screenshot some of them, and I'm like, God, this is what I would have achieved. No, this is what I would have lost if I didn't listen to you. Because I was like, how do you want me to be washing my dirty linen in public, telling people I've experienced narcissistic abuse? And I'm like, but I was encouraged by Joyce Meyer. I won't lie about that, because there's a woman who was abused sexually by her father, and she kept talking about it, and it's the basis of a worldwide ministry today. And so I just got that power and strength to share as after I had struggled with God. Okay, this is a question. Should I still greet him after he threatened to beat me up? You have to be careful. You have to be careful, and you need to be careful in this instance, because in cases where someone is threatening physical, you gotta be safe. You gotta be safe. You gotta be safe. You gotta be safe. And if I wanted to say what is on my mind, I would say just leave that environment as fast as you can, because when things want to get violent, I don't like it. And that was why in my own case, I didn't even fight him, to be honest. He didn't know the day I left, because I actually planned my leaving on a day he wasn't going to be around. And so I left quietly without any child, just my laptop, a few clothes, and I just left like that. I knew I was gone for good. And it was hard to live without the kids. It was hard. I won't lie about that. But I tell you, if you've got a goal in front, nothing is hard for you to do. Thank you, Chidima Obeliago. Happy birthday, ma. Wishing you long life and prosperity. Thank you. It's a new dawn, says, happy birthday to you, madam. I pray many more beautiful and impactful years in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you so much. You are the reason that I do this. Aside from God, you guys are the reason why I wake up and I do this. Sometimes it's not easy. It's not easy. I won't lie to you about it. It's not easy sometimes having to always film yourself I mean, and lately I've said no more notes because I used to record with my teleprompter, but no more. I want to be connecting more. Let me look at the camera and look at you, and you too, you will see me as I am. And so I love what we do on this channel. I love the fact that we are reaching out to women. And yesterday I received an email that really touched me. You know, those are the reasons why even if you want to look back, you cannot. You cannot. You cannot. Things are hard for women in narcissistic marriages. It's not easy. I won't lie about that. It's not easy. And so these are things that keep me going after I had struggled with God. But even now, God is prodding my heart. Yeah, but there are things you have not shared. You have to start sharing, because when I share, you can see yourself in my story and you can do some of the things that helped me. And I have not held back as regards the things that have helped me. God has been number one. I won't lie about that. God has been number one help. Help has come from places I never expected. I never saw certain things. I never saw them. And so I tell you, God is there for you. And so Chidima, if it starts getting physical, I'm not too pleased with it. And so I will advise you to get out as quickly as you can, just as you have planned. Get out as quickly as you can plan, as you have planned. Because you might be thinking, the schools of the children. Look, when I left, my toddler for a term didn't go to school. She didn't go to school because I wasn't settled. I was not going to enroll her in a school that I know that the next minute we are going to leave that area, because it wasn't my house. I was managing there. And so I just had to take my mind off certain things. I didn't bother about certain things. And your children are also young. When I left, I have 3. You heard me right. 3 kids in uni. 3 kids in uni. And you and I know what that means financially. That is, if the narcissist refuse to do certain things. It's not as if he does everything too. We've always been doing it together. And so it was hard for me. It was hard for me. But you have kids that are still young. They are, at least, they are not yet up to uni level where you say they have missed a semester or something. And so these are practical things you can do. When it starts getting violent, get out as fast as you can. When I didn't want to get into violence, I soft pedaled. I did as if I was a good wife. And when he left, I left. When he left to an outing, I also left that same day. And so just be wise. Allow wisdom to prevail. Allow the Holy Spirit to speak to you. But with violence, you got to leave as early as possible. Is there any other question before we close out this masterclass? Is there any? And if you've got questions on what we discussed today, or you're having issues setting boundaries, do let me know. Okay, it's a new dawn says, I have so much respect for what you do. My question is, how did you navigate getting a divorce? I asked this coming from a church setting where divorce is found at. He has married someone else and says, your question is not complete, but I get the gist. Okay, so right now, I'm just separated. I am not divorced. In Nigeria, where I am, I think 3 years, I can go ahead and get a divorce if I want to. Yes, you can go ahead because he's already married someone else. And so you can go ahead and get a divorce. In Nigeria where I live, if you've lived apart for 3 years, you can file for a divorce. It is enough grounds for a divorce. So I'm waiting for that. It's not yet 3 years. And so you can go ahead and divorce him since he has married someone else, to free you to also move ahead with your life. You can go ahead and get a divorce. In fact, it makes it easier since he has already moved on. Oh, wow. It's a new dawn. You've tried. 7 years. Wow. I celebrate you. You have tried. And so you can go ahead and get a divorce. It's in order. And I get the part about church setting. I get the part. Let me tell you some things. Because of this church setting thing, there are certain churches Iyaboyale cannot attend. not because of pride, but because they have refused to open their minds to certain realities in marriage. For instance, when you get to certain churches and you say you're a single mother, there's a way that they look at you. They don't accord you enough respect. Yes, because you are a single mother. My fear is, will he come after my children? I can't bear them living with a man like him. It depends on their ages, but if you have left him for 7 years and you're being alone and you've been able to take care of them, I think the court should give you custody, depending on their age. I don't know their ages, but I did have that fear. I think you should just submit that fear to God in prayer. Just tell God, I can't bear that my children will live with this man. Just give me favor before the judges so that the children will be given to me. Just pray about it, my sister, because when everything else fails, prayer doesn't fail. And so pray about it. I get that fear, and I also get the fear about church setting. This guy has moved on. This guy has moved on. So what is the church going to say? You should remain like that? No. You can get a divorce even in that wise. You can get a divorce even in that wise. And so go ahead and do the needful. Don't allow fear to hold you hostage. Like I said at the beginning, God has not given us the spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. And God knows that you want to keep these children in a setting where they are shown true love. Because the narcissist doesn't show true love. He only shows what? He only shows conditional love. But you are going to show them unconditional love, which is where they are supposed to be. And so tell God about it. And the fact that you are thinking church setting, I get it. And like I told you, even down here where I live, there are churches I can't attend because of my single mother status. But there are also churches where single mothers are celebrated because they understand that some women go through hell. And for them to have come out, they deserve to be celebrated. And so look out for such churches and you can pitch your tent with them. But as far as the divorce is concerned, I tell you, he already moved on. And so you are not bound under any circumstance. He already moved on. Okay, is there any other question? Queen Blessed, my own children are grown. They support me to move. Don't let children stop you. Please, they will be fine. Yes, Queen Blessed, thank you so much. Children will always be fine. I can say that from my own experience. And thank you for validating that experience, Queen Blessed. They will be fine. They will be fine. When I wanted to move, I was like, hey, 3 children in uni, how am I going to cope? But God has been faithful. God has been faithful. God has been faithful. And now the children even support me because they saw everything that I went through. And so you just go for it. It is your life at the end of the day. Don't forget to like this video so that many other survivors can find it. Share it with someone who needs this truth we are sharing. And if you've got questions, please type them in the chat box so we can attend to your questions. And if you're watching the replay, you can also type your questions. We will always get back to you. Thank you so much, guys, for coming. This party has been wonderful, even though I didn't play music. I should have played music so that we can boogie. What we've done is also valuable. I appreciate what we've done because the class has been interactive. I love that about you guys. You didn't allow me to speak to an empty room. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, do we have any other thing bothering anybody's mind? Go ahead and type in the chat box while we wait for like a few minutes before closing out. Okay. So any other questions? Okay, let me see. We don't have any questions. Any other questions? Okay, in the apps. Okay, happy birthday, Yabo. Thank you, CJ. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. It means a lot. It means a lot. It means a lot. I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I pray for all of you who have come to this live stream. You will never lack help. You will never lack help. You will never lack help, and you will never lack the wisdom. Chidima Obeliago, they will give you custody. I tell you, they will give you. Your children are too young. They will give you custody. They will give you custody. They will give you custody. Just believe with me and pray. Just believe with me and pray. Don't allow fear to hold you hostage. They will give you hostage. They will give you custody. Don't allow fear to hold you hostage. How do we know when they are under God's judgment like Nabal? TJ, I love that question. And I think I'm coming up with a video on 5 ways God deals with a narcissist. And one way to know they are under God's judgment is when they start reaching out, like my own has reached out to the children and like, you have abandoned me. I'm alone here. I'm blah, blah, blah here. And no one is even talking about me. Blah, blah. So you will know that they are already facing some sort of things. But you know, as a narcissist, he won't come out clean. He won't say things the way they are. But you will know from his demeanor and the way he talks to the children, because the adult children have conversations with him. I don't care about that. But for the baby, we schedule it. I do allow them to talk every weekend because I want her to have some sort of relationship with him. And so they do talk every weekend. But you will know when they are under God's judgment, when they start talking like that. And so he said that a couple of times, and the children are like, so what do they do? Do they really live their lives? But you know, I don't poke my mouth into those kind of conversations. It's between them, and whatever they want to do with him, they can go ahead and do it. He's their father at the end of the day. I'm not going to give them another father. And so basically you will know from their conversations, and their demeanor too reveals a lot, because they're always hiding stuff. But from their demeanor, you will know. You will know. For instance, if he suddenly starts withdrawing, starts being unhappy, you will know from the demeanor. You will know. And so these are things that I have come to know. But I tell you, and it's reached out severally. But nope, not from this side of town. Nope, not again. After I had left 3 times, no, I'm not doing that kind of shit again. Sorry if I use that language. I'm not doing that kind of thing again. That's true. He's very sneaky. Yes. TJ says that's true. He's very sneaky. Yes, they're always sneaky. They hide things a lot. They don't want you to know things about them. But I know that God has his own way of judging them that we don't understand. But from the way that he converses with the children, I know something is amiss, but that's not my cup of tea. I have moved on, and my life is ahead of me, and I've got to face it squarely. Do we have any other questions in-house? Any other questions before we call it a day? I would love to have more of such Q&A sessions. What do you guys think? Like finding multiple SIM cards after he left. Yes. That also happens. You mean for the narcissists? Very sneaky indeed. Yes. They are sneaky. I agree. I agree with that. Yes. They are very sneaky human beings. They don't want you to know much about them. And yet they study you like a book. Because they know how to attack you. They know how to bring you down. They want to know how to bring you down. They want to know the things that make you light up, and they will refuse to give you those things. And so they are sneaky human beings. And it's all because they have sold their souls to the devil. That's it. And so when I came to that realization that I was battling the kingdom of Satan against the kingdom of God, I just understood it. Make a video of how you moved on after narcissistic abuse. Yes, Chidima, I get that. I will do that. I will do that. I'll do that, surely. I'll do that. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate you. Go ahead and like this video. Smash the like button. so that other survivors can find it. I respect you guys because you have kept this channel going with God's help. We have kept this channel going with God's help. It's not been a cup of tea, but I tell you, it's been worth it because the stories I hear from you guys are heartwarming. Yes. And so any other questions before we leave? Any other questions before we leave? Any other questions before we leave? So we can call it. I want to do more of Q&As going forward. What do you guys think? Happy birthday, Yabo. Live your truth. Yes, I'm living my truth. Thank you so much. I love you. I love you and God loves you too. Thank you. I appreciate you so, so much. So I was asking a question. I would love to do more of Q&As. What do you guys think? Instead of just coming up with a topic, we are just going to come and you will ask questions and okay, please discuss co-parenting more. I will. Live your truth. I'm noting these topics. I'm noting them down, co-parenting, and then move on after narcissistic abuse. Do you get support from your baby? From your ex? Rarely, I'll say. Just once in a while. It's rare, very rare. And that's why I tell women, have a financial plan if you are leaving. Have a financial plan if you are leaving. Have a financial plan if you're leaving. Because you can't always rely on them. Like I was listening to an interview by Yabo Jo when she left her husband, and she was like, whenever there was something to do with the kids, she would tell him, but she never put her mind that he was going to respond, because if he didn't respond, she was going to do it. And so she didn't put herself under pressure of, you must do it. It's your baby. No. If he doesn't respond, go ahead and do it. It's your child at the end of the day. And these children, they see. I can tell you this from my adult children. They see a lot. And so they know what is happening. And so helping them means that eventually when they also start making money, these children will remember you more. Often they remember their mother more. It's even me that will be saying, don't forget your paleo. I'll be saying that to them, don't forget your paleo, because they remember you more as a mother. And so I rarely do. That's the honest truth. Do we have trauma-informed lawyers? There was one lawyer woman I was talking to a while back. Let me see if I still have her contact. I could send it across to you. There are women who understand trauma. They understand narcissistic abuse, and they are female lawyers. And so let me see if I can still get her contact so that I'll forward it to you. I hope I still have her number. Thank you for the question, Chidima. So I was saying I would love to have more of such Q&As so that you can talk about the things on your heart, and I'll also share from my experience. Okay. Yeah, but please do a summary at the end of the key points. Okay. I'll also like her contact too. Okay, it's a new done. Can you do me an email? It's a new done. I don't have your email. I only have that of Chidima. And so you can do me an email, admin@iyaboyale.com. Admin@iyaboyale.com. So leave your truth. You said I should do a summary at the end of the key points. Is it for this live session? If it's this live session, well, the mistakes I talked about are communicate your boundaries clearly, and then also enforce your consequences, and also don't explain or defend your boundaries. And what other thing? I hope I remember. Don't expect the narcissist to respect your boundaries, because the narcissist will not respect them. And the last mistake we made is not getting support when we are setting boundaries, because the narcissist will run you riot. And so you need the support of a community like this one. And I mentioned that I'm coming up with a community of women who are healing from narcissistic abuse, because look, there is life beyond abuse. I can say that now because I have seen that there is life beyond the abuse. There is life beyond the abuse. But most women allow the abuse to victimize them to the point that they don't see the life after. And I want to show you that there is life beyond whatever it is you have experienced. And I want to have this close-knit community of women healing from narcissistic abuse. No guy will be there because I don't know how to coach guys. I can't relate to what they have experienced in the hands of female narcissists. I can only relate to what I have experienced, and I can only help women. And that is why my target audience are women. And so it's going to be a close-knit community of women who are holding up. I would love women who are elderly to be there. I would love women who are not too elderly to be there, so that from our wealth of experience, we can help one another to live beyond the abuse, to live beyond abuse. And so I tell you, there is life beyond. If you are there as you watch me now, I want you to know there is life beyond the abuse. There is life beyond. And I will show you by the things we are going to discuss in the community by the time I set it up. Okay, if there are no other questions, I would beg to leave this live chat. It's been such an engaging one, and I'm super grateful to have you guys here. Thank you so much for joining my birthday boundary setting masterclass. Okay, I was asking a question. Nobody has talked about it. I said I would love to have more of Q&As, because from what we've had today, I realize that there's things on your heart that you would love to discuss, which we don't talk about in our videos. And so I'd love to have more of such Q&As, maybe once a month or so, and then I'll just come up and we'll ask questions upon questions, or I will get your questions ahead of the time and I'll make a video to address those questions. I hope that is in order for you guys. I really appreciate you. I can see people are still in-house. Oh, wow. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate you. I appreciate the support you give this channel. Don't forget that I drop videos almost on a daily. Sometimes I don't drop on a daily basis, but I try to. It's not a cup of tea, but we are trudging on by the help of Jehovah. Okay, Chidima, how to heal after narc abuse? Okay, I've noted that too. I've noted that too. I've noted that too. So basically, we have 3: co-parenting, how to heal after narcissistic abuse, and also how to move on, how I moved on after narcissistic abuse. I have noted your points, and I will deal with them in subsequent videos. Thank you so much for joining, guys. I love you guys. I appreciate you. And I'll say have a blessed Saturday. There is a whole new life awaiting you after narcissistic abuse. Don't allow what you're facing now to kill that future. That future is a bright one. So keep on holding on and make God your number one. Make God your number one. I tell you, there is a beautiful life ahead of you, and I celebrate you all. Thank you. I look forward to your congratulating you, Queen Blessed. I look forward to congratulating you very soon, because I know that it's very soon. It's happening very soon. And I look forward to all of you, your beautiful stories, your beautiful lives. I look forward to it, because I know that God is taking us somewhere, and we'll surely get there. There's this song, God is taking me somewhere. God is taking me somewhere, and I will get there. God is taking us somewhere, and we will get there. We will get there. I tell you, we are all going there. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Love you guys. Mwah, 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 mwah. I love you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.